Welcome back, fellow gamers. We have for you today my top 5 list for commanders, specifically mono white commanders. So let's jump in. The first thing that I'll mention is that these aren't necessarily the most competitive. Now, there are going to be a few, but these are really casual, what I like to play at, what I consider my go-to commanders for white. So without further ado, let's jump in. My first selection is JAZAL GOLDNANE. So yeah, a Johnny's brother. So with JAZAL, the thing that we have going on here is just pumping out a lot of creatures. So think of playing cards like White Sun Zenith, Secure the Wastes, and even Nomad's Assembly and Decree of Justice. Obviously, the great aspect here is Secure the Wastes and White Sun Zenith, where you can pump out a lot of stuff at instant speed, and then on your attack, you've got a huge amount of 1/1 tokens that can then be boosted and can actually swing in for lethal. At number 4, we have LINVALA, Keeper of Silence. So LINVALA is a card that I slot into all my white decks, or any decks that at least runs white. There's no reason not to. Her ability is strong. Now, she can be targeted, and she will be targeted. The great thing about her being a commander is that you can always cast her again. So with that said, it's going to make you a hate target, because if people have their plans laid out in front of them and you're thwarting them through your general, through your commander, it will be a prime target for removal. So you have to really look at ways of protecting your commander, and not only that, protecting your board state. So the real good way to play LINVALA here is to just build like a shell or a bubble around your whole play area. Obviously, a card like Iona, Shield of Emeria, which I'm not even putting on this list, and even Avacyn, Angel of Hope, which will then give all your stuff indestructible. I'm not even including Avacyn in this list, even though she theoretically should be there. I decided not to. Just didn't want to include her, all right? And you just go on, you go down the list of cards that you include in this deck to really make it so that it's hard for your opponent to do things. A card that jumps out to me is Solemnity, Blind Obedience, Rest in Peace, Leyline of Sanctity. These are all cards that can help protect your board state while making it a bit harder for your opponent to play around. And then at number 3, we have NORN. This card is one of the cards, again, I include in all my white decks. There's no reason not to give, unless you're not running a creature-heavy deck, just being able to have your stuff be that much stronger and potentially wiping out those weenie cards or creatures, tokens that your opponent might have. I'm not going to go through a detailed list here, because you can actually just make this a either token-based strategy or just a good stuff white deck. So anything that's really playable, that's fun to use, you can go ahead and just slot that into this deck and have fun with it and roll with it. At number 2, we have KEMBA, REGENT. And the thing that is obviously really good at this is an equipment deck that allows you to play a lot of equipments that will then give you a lot of cat tokens. And then if you start playing cat lords, you're able to further increase your board presence and allow your 2/2s to become whatever you really want them to become and start swinging in each turn. Finally, at number 1, we have 8.5 Tails. This card is really good for protecting your stuff or for thwarting your opponent's targeted spells and just making those spells fizzle left, right, and center. It could be a frustrating card to play against. Requires a lot of removal, a lot of graceful maneuvering to beat an 8.5 Tails deck if it's piloted correctly. This here is really, again, just put a few big haters into your deck and then go on with it. And there you have it. That is my quick list, my quick rundown of my top 5 favorite commanders that happen to be mono white. I want to know what your list is, because I guarantee you there are cards that I left off this list. I looked at the legendary white creatures, and there are quite a few really good ones that are not on this list. So let me know. In the meantime, you can check out some of my other videos. It's on screen right now. And if you'd like to subscribe, it really helps the channel out. So thank you for even considering it. And until next time, good gaming.